going on, y'all?
Hi.
Back with another video. Alright, y'all. Today we'll be discussing our Houston, because we have a problem. Let's talk about Houston and their streets, because I got a bone to pick with Houston and the potholes. Let's drive around these streets, because, you know, where I'm from originally, we had some pretty bad potholes, but they were fixed pretty quick. And now, you know, moving to a new state, you know, you think that because there's no winter, you know, oh, cool, streets are gonna be fine, they're not gonna be as broken. But nope, Houston always just has a problem, doesn't it? Yeah! So realistically, there's an issue with Houston and the roads. Look at these roads. Look at this. This isn't as bad as other roads, to be honest with you. But I feel like Houston and everybody who drives, look at all these drivers, they must always get like an alignment. Well, I mean, you have to get an alignment. It's a requirement, right? To just have your car driving smooth. But I feel like in Houston, you just have to as often, because, and I'm sure everywhere has their issues with the streets. But man, I feel like I'd be hitting some potholes or some just bumps, and I'm just like, ouch, it hurts. It's kind of annoying, to be honest with you. I really want to know the worst streets in Houston when it comes to potholes. I've been told that Pasadena has been known for really bad potholes, and honestly, yeah, I can kind of agree, because I've been there a lot, and yeah, I've seen pretty bad streets over there. Look at this little Civic. I don't know what it is. I thought Houston would have been okay with their potholes, or with their streets in general. But that doesn't seem the case. It seems to me that there's always something. There's always a bump. Like, look at that. Look at this. Horrible. Sometimes I see myself, you know, going driving on the other side of where I'm not supposed to, just to avoid getting, you know, hit. How do you guys feel about the potholes in Houston? You know, sometimes, like I said, if it wasn't as bad, you know, I would have been like, you know what, it is what it is. But like I said, sometimes you just hit some like look at this. Sometimes you just hit some ugly ones. You see some ugly ones, and you're just like, that's horrible for my steering. It's horrible for my suspension. And most importantly, for my tires. I've been through so many tires here in Houston, it's ridiculous. I think I've gotten flat tires on Fairbanks Road out in Houston, like twice already. It ain't cool, because that's just money. Discount tire is gaining from me. Downtown, southwest, southeast Houston. Shoot, I feel like Katy sometimes, but also Katy has some nice areas. But for some reason, this street right here, I don't know if you guys have been on Eldridge, particularly this street, Eldridge, I'm not liking. I actually, quick story, I used to live here on this street, Eldridge. Well, not literally on the street, but I used to live on this street. And every single day I would drive. I will get to see more over there, but I used to drive the street, and it used to drive me nuts of how bad the street was. Don't get me wrong, they've gotten a little better, but you can see right here, you know, sometimes even in the camera, you know, it captures like the shakiness. And of course you try your best to avoid it, but then you're not trying to hit anybody else. But yeah, I used to live in this street, and man, I used to go, I used to be jumping of just how bad it is. You know, it really does get on my nerves, but actually, it still does to this day. To be honest with you, it does. And there's one thing that I don't like also is when they start doing construction. When they start doing construction, they take forever. It takes them 10 years to fill up a patch. Being serious. It takes them forever. I know the other side of the street, which we'll get around to. They've been working on that side for the past, I want to say 3 to 4 years now, almost. Not sure what they're doing, but to me it doesn't look like. Ow. To me it doesn't look like they're doing anything special. Just look how bad this is. Look how bad this is. Come on. It's horrible. I'm deliberately now just doing this just to show you guys. But yeah, it's pretty bad. I don't like it, but it is what it is, you know. But we just gotta find other routes. The good thing I don't really have to go anymore. I don't have to take this route anymore, or just drive here, to be honest with you. Because like I said, you guys saw that one little U-turn. I bet you nobody probably drives there. Ow. I catch myself doing a lot of this. Just zigzagging through lanes. Just so I can avoid the hiccups. Because they ain't just no hiccups. They hills. Another thing too is when I used to work, like I said, back over there in Fairbanks, the amount of nails. Now I know that area is more of a construction site, kind of ish, but there was a lot of trade workers over there. But man, when there's a bunch of trade workers, even like new communities, anything that's being built, man, you're gonna suffer with all the little nails that you get in your tires. Like I said, I've been a victim of tires for a good, I think 4 times now in my life, which is not a lot, to be honest with you. I mean, I think, but it is annoying when you have to go to the side and, you know, change a tire. Funny story is the first time that happened to me was in New York. You know how to change a tire. So good old YouTube was my friend that day. Look at that. Yeah, these streets are something else. Had YouTube help me, and yeah, from there on, I knew how to change a tire. I've had a blowout too. That was my life flashed before my eyes. Sorry, I had to redo that. I said my eyes almost flashed before my eyes. Just like how these streets are butchering my tires. Good thing we have power editing, because I would sound like an idiot. So I was driving on I-10, merging onto 610, one of those two. I forgot where it was. But I was on my way to make a delivery, and I had patched my tire maybe like a couple of months before I actually had that blowout, and I was going a good like 60 miles. I want to say 60, 65. I mean, thank God I wasn't going anywhere faster, because then that would have been even worse. But I remember it was my left rear tire, and it blew out, and I spun out, and I swear, you know, like it was bad. And for the grace of God, I'm still here, because that would have been bad. If there was a wall, I would have been cooked. But we survived, and it was with this car. This construction right here is what I'm talking about. They've been here for the past 3 years, I want to say. And there's always, I used to drive this street every single day, and I would have to go like probably like 30 minutes even earlier, just to avoid the traffic, because you're stuck onto it. I think this is supposed to be or at least it was a 3-lane. I'm not sure, but it merges. But it's horrible. I think they've done it better now, where it's just 2 lanes. I think they fixed it now, but still, it still causes a lot of traffic. But back then, it was just 1 lane, and it was horrible. So I would work at 6. I would have to leave the house like at 5:15, and that was only 25 minutes away, just to get there early. The good old days. I do miss those days sometimes. But I'm really curious to see what they built here. And they're probably not doing anything. They're probably just fixing the street. I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm really curious to see what you guys say about the streets. Give me some streets. I'll go check them out. I'm curious. Now, I know Eldridge wasn't as bad, because I've been in worse, but those are one of the bad ones that I had to go through every day. Or if you don't live in Texas, let me know. The state of California, or the state of New York, or the state of Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, whatever part you're from, if you can tell me if you have the best streets or the worst streets. But just from my experiences so far in Houston, man, like I said, I thought I was gonna be in dreamland with smooth streets, smooth pavements. Nah. You know, I don't know if anybody's seen the movie Cars, when Lightning McQueen made the street for the first time, and it was all bumpy. Sometimes Houston is like that. There's some areas, like I said, there's some areas where it's super smooth, but a lot of the streets over here are very bad. But from what I've experienced, maybe one day I'll have the luxury and live in an area where there's only smooth streets. The last video I recorded was the Ford F-150, and I was near the airport, and near the airport, I mean, it was pretty bad. Like the back streets of the airport, that was very bad. I was stuck. Not stuck, but I was, you know, in a bumpy roads. I think you've seen it in the video. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a clip and just post how, or even just check out the video. You can see how really bumpy the street really was, and it was kind of annoying because, you know, like I said, I have a head mount and I record with my phone, so, you know, sometimes I'm over here just like driving, like, you know, holding my phone for stability. So it's pretty annoying when I do hit a pothole, even in this video, you know. Like I said, I have a head mount, so like I'm constantly looking, trying to see if I can see the video. But yeah, it's pretty annoying when the video shakes, or when the video, you know, isn't stable as it's supposed to be, or when, you know, the strap, you know, just the head mount just, you know, gets off position. It's annoying, but it is what it is. I'm gonna cut this guy off. Bam. That's how you do it, folks. Don't try that at home. I was gonna talk about speed bumps, but I can see that's something that we're supposed to have, so I get those. But anyways, my people, thank you for this short little, would I say rant? I wouldn't say a rant, but it is a rant. But it's just a calm rant about the streets of Houston and their potholes and the money that we have to waste on tires and suspensions and alignments. Let me know where you guys think the worst streets are in Houston, and I'll check them out. Maybe. Safety purposes, I don't know. I might not. But yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Engage down there. And I'll see you in the next one.